Hey guys, so we're picking up where we left off and I'm going to continue with my brows. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I just filmed a complete foundation concealer routine, which I will be linking in the description box below once they're both up. So this is one eyebrow done, and I'm going to do my other eyebrow. So I'm just going to quickly go over the products that I will be using. The eyebrow pencil that I'm using is Strut by MAC. And this is kind of like a reddish, warm brown. That's that there. And then for eyeshadow, I do set it with an eyeshadow. And right now I'm currently using Strike While Haute. It was a limited edition color, but MAC does have a blush right now that they just recently came out with. I believe it's called Frankly Scarlet, I want to say. Frankly something, and it looks just like this, and I have tried that at work and it works just the same as this eyeshadow. And the reason why I use this eyeshadow is to bring in a little bit more of that reddish tone. On its own, the eyebrow will work since like my roots are coming in, but I wanted to add a little bit more of a reddish tone to it. And then to clean up under my eyebrow, I do use my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in NW20. Regardless whether I use this under my eyes or not, I always use this to clean up my brows. I have tried other concealers and I have to say that this is my favorite. I find it's the easiest to work with and you don't have to apply a very thick layer of it or anything. And then just a few tools that I'm using. I'm using my MAC 266 angled brush, my MAC 242 synthetic brush, and then I'm just using whichever brush that I used to blend under my eyes that day. That's usually what I'll use to kind of blend in the concealer. So today I was using the Sigma E40 under my eyes. Oh no, I was using the 224, but this is what I had, so I just picked it up. But whatever you use under your eyes, that would totally work too. So I'm just going to take my pencil, and with these brow pencils, you do have to be a little bit careful. You don't want to, you know, twist it up too high. Otherwise, they tend to break off. They're kind of delicate pencils. So I'm just kind of outlining under my eyebrow. I do have, you know, a shape that I am happy with my brows right now because I've been trying to grow them out. I go through really funny phases with my eyebrows. Sometimes they get super like crazy thin, and then other times they look good. So I think I'm in a okay place with my brows right now. So just line the bottom, and then I just go in and line the top. So I'm just holding the pencil at the very bottom. If you hold it very close to the tip, you're gonna put a lot of pressure, you know, on the skin. So the farther back you hold it, the lighter the pressure. And I'm just kind of using really light kind of, you know, strokes like this. And then just connect the top and bottom here on the outer corner. And then don't worry too much about the shape on the bottom. You can always clean that up when we go in with the concealer. So I'm just filling in the brow with the pencil. And then here on the inner corner, I don't like them to be too like boxed in, too dark in the inner corner. So I just kind of very lightly do like a few little strokes. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then this is where your brush is going to come in. This is going to help you distribute the product evenly and kind of like feather it in. So just really short strokes. And again, I'm holding the brush towards the end and not right here at the very tip, because again, it'll give you less pressure if you hold it this way. And then using the brush, you can always kind of move the pencil around a little bit if you need to, and just define the outer edge a little bit more. Okay, now it's time for concealer. And I'm using, again, the MAC Pro Longwear in NW20. And I usually just pump a little tiny dot on the back of my hand. A little bit of this concealer goes a long way, especially when you're using it to, you know, clean up your brows. So I'm just kind of working the product on the back of my hand here You're gonna make sure you coat the brush, but you don't want to have too much on there. So then just go in. I don't start right at like the edge where I want, you know, the crisp line to be. I usually kind of like work my way up into it. So start down here and then just slowly bring it up. And then as you're getting closer to the shape that you want, and you can always touch up the outer corners, that's not a problem. So if your eyebrows aren't totally even, it's okay. Eyebrows are sisters, not twins. If you're lucky enough to have very even eyebrows, then that's awesome, but some of us don't have that. So just with whatever's left on the brush, I'm just kind of swiping here on the brow bone. I don't bring the concealer, you know, any farther than like my socket bone. I don't put this all over my eyes because it does tend to crease on me. I do have pretty oily skin, so that's not something that, you know, works for me. But I do know of some people who do use the concealer kind of like as an eye primer, and it really works for them, but not for me. So once I have the shape that I want, then I'll go in with my eyeshadow. You could do the eyeshadow step first and then clean up the brows, but because this is like, I've tried setting my brows first and then cleaning it up, but then if I smudge this, like I tend to get like pink or like red like across my brow bone there. So I find that if I set the pencil after, like I clean up my brows, I kind of avoid that. So I'm just dipping my brush into the eyeshadow, and then I'm doing more like pressing motions versus like really blending motions, simply because we don't want to wipe off the pencil. I mean, you can do light little brush strokes, but don't really like go in and try to blend anything out, because what we're doing is just setting the product. And then if you need to make any little touch-ups, you certainly can. Like I want to extend this a little bit the other way. So out that way. Okay. And then if you have a brow gel, you can totally use it. I like to use brow gel because I don't have a lot of like hairs. My hairs are very like thin and they're not very dark. So I feel that by brushing my brows with a brow gel, it kind of gives my eyebrows a little bit more life and they don't look so, you know, fake. Of course, these are very drawn on brows. These do not look natural whatsoever, especially because they're, you know, they're red. But I do find that a brow gel really helps. I'm using the MAC brow gel. It's not my favorite brow gel. I do like it. It's the formula is nice. It doesn't leave your eyebrows feeling like hard or crunchy. So if you don't like a really, you know, crunchy feeling brow gel, this is a really good one. Personally, I prefer more of that crunchy feeling. Don't ask me why, I just do. So I prefer the Anastasia brow gel, which I don't have at the moment. This is what I got. This is what I got last time that I was shopping for brow products. Just touch up that little spot there. Okay. Now, if you do wanted to like clean up the brows like on the top, you certainly can. I personally don't like that look. I think that this is clean enough for me, but I do know some people like to go in either with their foundation or another concealer that either matches their skin tone or like the same concealer that you use under your brow. But that's a little bit too much for me. So this is my updated brow routine for anyone that has not naturally red hair, but like colored red hair. So I hope you guys found this helpful. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing if you have, and I'll see you next time.